Rebecca Gaffney. I have the Forced Adoption Essex website group on Facebook, and I also blog on LinkedIn, and I have Twitter. My LinkedIn is Rebecca Gaffney, which is the long version of Becky Gaffney. And I blog about family courts, how to deal with it, getting through it, about forced adoption, and about Essex County Council. Right. There is no more of an upsetting time than the lead up to Christmas and Christmas itself for a parent that's lost a child like myself or had a child stolen. I believe any parent that's in this situation or has had this happen to them will fully understand what I mean. There are, of course, other landmarks in life, such as birthdays and special occasions, first days at school, first wearing their uniform, taking them to the park, watching them walk, etc., that you miss out on when your children are stolen. It's also heartbreaking. However, Christmas is a time to come together as a family, and family and friends come together, and is meant to be a jolly time. However, for some, that merry time turns into misery. I have two older children, young adults, who are still at home, and I have to overcome the pain wrenching through my body every day to make sure that their Christmas is as happy as it can be. I think they're my saving grace as well. So please, if I'm snappy or a bit out of character, please understand that it's very painful leading up to Christmas, because there's a lot of things in the shops, there's Father Christmas, there's all different things that you want to do with your child, and if you don't have them, you obviously can't, and that's very, very hurtful and upsetting. So anyone that knows anyone that's in my position or has lost a child, please give them a bit of leeway. They may well be in serious pain inside. However, this is not the reason for doing this video. I'd done a blog on LinkedIn about a week ago, and within 3 days it had 400 views. This article was about Shayla O'Brien. She is known probably mostly as Elsie Scully Hicks, the little 18-month-old girl murdered by her adoptive gay dad, Matthew Scully Hicks. My article, was headlined "Are Social Services Fit for Practice? Scum of the Earth" as well. That's my own little bit. But are social services fit for practice? I'm literally in bits right now. As social services, Essex Social Services took my child and have actually handed her over to a man with a mental health disorder. An unknown one, may I add. Or so they say. Being my own solicitor, I cross-examined the service manager, the social worker, and the team leader in court vigorously. I asked them things such as what medication this man took. They suggested his mental health came in bouts, so I asked them what these bouts consisted of, what medication he took, the side effects of this medication, how he would deal with a child if they were having a tantrum when he was having a bad day, for example. And I will tell you now, the answer I got, I didn't get any. The only response I got from 3 people, 3 professionals, was that the adoption agency had vetted this person, therefore it must be fine. This is not a good enough answer. It never was a good enough answer. However, it was the only answer I got. How can a local authority remove a child from somebody who has had now 3 psychiatric assessments paid for by yourselves because you didn't want to believe the first one or the second one, but on the third one it became clear that you weren't getting anywhere? I have no mental health issues, yet you took my child and gave her to somebody that does. Where is the sense in that? You even lied in court and tried to suggest you don't take children away from people with mental health disorders. I'm a Mackenzie friend for people. I do know exactly what you do. And the fact that you stood there and said that in front of a judge in a court of law, it's shocking to me. I'm literally in bit. Sorry, I've just said that bit. I'm reading off bits here. I now know that the adoption vetting in this country is an absolute sham. Yesterday I read the family court judgment of Shayla. It was shocking, numbing, frightening, and just pure evil on Matthew Scully Hicks' behalf. The family court judge made it clear that this child suffered serious injuries unnoticed during the period while social services were robustly assessing these people. The social worker barely remembered the visits that she had with this little girl, and she didn't remember the bruising on her forehead, which was prominent, as the judgment states. This child also suffered with leg injuries, and her eyes started to turn inwards. This, I believe, was due to the head trauma she had suffered on many occasions in the hands of this monster. However, social services choose to believe that or suggest that it's global development delay. This is a term they use now for when they have nothing really much else to say about something. They say that it's global development delay. This is not the case with this child, clearly. So, when the social services and the prospective adopter fathers were in the adoption meetings, none of these bruising was brought up, none of these injuries were brought up, and they proceeded and allowed these people who had actually already adopted, but this child that they had first fitted into their routine, etc. Elsie did not. However, they were allowed to go ahead and have her. I read a report yesterday in a magazine called Community Care Online. It was about death threats made to social workers in the wake of Shayla's death. One social worker commented afterwards, her name was Hillary, I believe, and she commented that she felt she was fed to the lions, it was unfair, and so on and so forth. She also indicated that she was involved in the actual case of Shayla. I commented on the magazine's article to her response, and it has not been printed. I'm not sure why, as it was not rude or derogatory. It was just straightforward and plainly to Hillary. I don't think you were thrown to the lions, Hillary. I think maybe Shayla was. Do you not? I'm very upset that she believes she has the right to even suggest she's frightened. Think about what that little baby went through. Think about how frightened she was. How can you even turn this round to you? Yes, she was taken from her parents, probably parents that you could have worked with, and almost guaranteed she would not have been murdered by them. You should stand down. You're an embarrassment to social work itself, and you're an embarrassment to child protection. You have seen a child suffering at the hands of somebody that you picked to protect and look after them, a vulnerable baby. There is no more... Oh, sorry. Have some dignity and show some remorse for the beautiful Shayla, the angel, whose life could have been saved if you weren't so crap at your job. The birth parents and family must be in absolute pieces at this point. Have you got any thoughts for them? The injuries at the hands of Matthew Scully Hicks are abhorrent and consistent over a period of 10 months. Social services have proved time and time again that they are failures at protecting children from actual abuse and harm. And in this case, many others, they are the ones to hand these children to their abusers. They are stealing children from healthy, happy families and selling them for adoption. Why, you ask? Because not many people want to adopt a child that has serious problems or has been abused and is damaged. They want children that are happy, healthy and mouldable, not children that are seriously affected by issues from their past. So it is clear social services are not fit for purpose. You were established to help families and protect children from harm, not to socially engineer and steal children, leaving heartbroken families all over the country, just to keep your figures and tables high. You are not doing your Jobs, we need a total overhaul of social services, and quickly. Let's not let Shayla's death be in vain. I should not say this, but I will. If anybody is aware of where my daughter is, and she is at any risk of any type of harm at all, you have to do the right thing, stand up and go to the right people, please. As I am, my hands are tied. I do know where she is because I was accidentally told. However, I can't go near there. I'm bound by injunctions. I wouldn't go there either because it would just be too distressing for my child, and I actually care for my child and how she is emotionally. But if you do know this family and you do know my child and there is anything that's not right, please stand and say so. To the people that have stolen my child, and you know you've stolen my child, it was very clear to you in court that she has a family that love her and that she wasn't given away and she wasn't abused. However, you carried on regardless. I don't believe that you went into adoption for the right reasons at all. You've harmed my daughter if what social services say is true, and you've changed her name at the age of 5 years old. After the trauma she has suffered at the hands of social services, you think it's reasonable to cause her more trauma and distress and take away the only thing she had left, her identity. It's not okay. You say I make you unable to be able to parent properly because I keep fighting for my child. Social services, this is a safeguarding issue. Why aren't you acting? And how dare you? You did not adopt for the right reasons. You ignored the court. Ellie had a family. You knew she was never abused. You are not upstanding people. You are that you put yourselves out to be. You may have stolen Ellie's identity, although I don't believe that you have. I just believe that this is a diversion by yourselves and social services in my plight for my daughter. It has not worked. Ellie Mae is my daughter. She has a family, she has friends, and she has people that knew her. She's not yours, she's mine. And she always will be. I gave birth to her. She is my child. In years to come, you may well be the centre of Ellie Mae's anger as the people that caused serious injustice to her family and her friends and, of course, to herself. There was no need for this. Ellie Mae did never have to ever have to deal with the fact that she's adopted. She could have been at home. Just this for my last sentence. She is mine and will always be, and I stand strong in telling you that I will never ever back down. I will never stop fighting for Ellie Mae until the day she is home, and you can rest assured of that. And on the other key to the other point to this, social services, we need to do something about this terrible practice that's happening. We need to protect our most vulnerable people in society, our children, and this isn't being done by the people that are actually paid to do it. So what can we do? We as the people need to come together. There is no other way this is going to happen. Unless people stand up and stand strong together, nothing happens. I have a petition in Parliament, but nothing's happened because I'm a single person, and standing together is the only way forward. We cannot keep turning our TVs on and reading our newspapers, seeing the absolutely vile crimes of people killing young, vulnerable, helpless children, ones that are being given to them by the services that are there to protect them. Everything is very, very wrong with this, and I do hope that most people will agree with me. However, we don't have an answer to what to do about this. So what can we do? I think that we all need to get together and fight against these people. We need to let the government know this isn't working for us, this isn't working for the children, and that things have to change. All of these Ofsted, they're, failing authorities, etc., and then they're being taken over and things like that. It's just not good enough. What the hell is actually going on here? Millions and millions is ploughed into local authorities and social care every year. So where's this money going? There is children with mental health disorders that are going unnoticed, even though they are being pushed into the faces of these people. They are still denying them the services that they apparently are allowing them to have now. This is not the case. I can guarantee you, and I have personal absolute knowledge of the fact that these services are not providing mental health services to children that they should be. I have a family member that has tried to have these access continuously over a period of years and never has. So where is the money going? Why are our children being failed? Why are you not doing your job, and how did you get your job in the first place? Did you go in your job to protect children, or did you go in there to be a child trafficker? Because I think you need to sit down and think about this. It isn't good enough for the people, and it's criminal, really. It is absolutely criminal, in my opinion. It is criminal, the failures to Shayla. It is criminal, the failures to baby Peter, to Victoria Climbier, and to many other children. Obviously, they're the mainstream ones that we've had in the press. I can't think of any others at the moment. There are hundreds. I've read about these. It's no good doing a serious case review after and saying we will learn from this. You don't. Please, people, let's come together, sign this. There is a petition to stop forced adoption and fostering. I will put it onto my Forced Adoption Essex site, because this has actually gained a lot of signatures. This is going to Downing Street, so please sign. Please make these people high up there aware that this isn't good enough, and we will not tolerate it any longer. So yeah, thanks people for listening. Sorry if I sound a bit angry, it's just that I am pretty angered about this whole scenario, and I'm sure you can imagine why. Right, okay, thank you, bye.